What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Reserves Radio. That was actually interesting. Angelo gave us the countdown, and then I didn't get the recording notification for a few seconds, so I sat here staring at the wall like a weirdo. We are out of the NBA season now, officially. It's over. We had a bonus episode on it. If you haven't caught that one, go listen to it. It was just Angelo and I kind of recapping the finals. We're going to talk a little bit about that here since Austin was not here. But that's not going to be the premise of this episode. Before we get into anything, we're going to go ahead and do the question of the week just to get the brain juices flowing. So this question is really easy for me, and I'm sure I don't know if it'll be easy for you guys, but it's really easy for me. It's, what is something you have created that you are proud of? And this podcast, I didn't think we would keep doing this. I didn't think we would enjoy it. I didn't think we'd be any good at it, but it's going a lot better than I thought, and I am happy to be here.
Yeah, I generally agree with you, man.
Yeah, mine's not the podcast, but
What a dick.
mine is from my old work when I started there as a high schooler. I built their entire inventory management system from the ground up and had to code a server that I'd never done before. So that was fun. Just doing a lot of stuff I didn't do and making it my own. That's probably my greatest thing that I've done.
I actually did something similar at my old place. It wasn't like creating a whole flipping code system, but the way I labeled stock made every inventory smooth, and they actually recently contacted me and asked if they could, pay me to just organize the back room and keep that old system going because they had not had someone to do that. So
I mean, obviously, I'm proud of work, but it's a podcast. This is think about this, okay?
think about what?
This is something that the three of us, well, four of us that became three of us, or three of us that became four, whatever it is, we came together and we built this.
What did we build though?
This is a cohesive thing. Think about the fact that we combined to make this.
It's not built yet.
It's building. It is building. It's going. So anyway, let's get into some basketball news. First up, I'm not actually gonna comment on this, but did y'all see the Conor McGregor story?
No, I did not.
So
I literally just pulled that up.
I want you to. We're not gonna talk about it, and for those of you listening at home, just Google Conor McGregor NBA. Angelo, go ahead and do it. It's not a good story. Obviously, he is denying it, but it apparently happened in the game 4, I think, in Miami.
Yeah, it was in Miami.
Yeah, it was in Miami for sure, but yeah, not a good look. Not a good look.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was the same one with the mascot incident.
Yeah, it was he punched the mascot and sent the guy in the costume to the emergency room. Not a great weekend for Conor McGregor. Clearly.
Nope.
Outside of that, what's going on with Bradley Beal? Apparently, the Wizards and Bradley Beal are both down for a trade. Obviously, Bradley Beal is needed to approve a trade because he does have a no trade clause, which is kind of insane to me. Open to a trade. Does Dame have one? I don't think so. I've heard rumors that the Heat are going to be looking to trade for Beal, but what are they going to trade is my question.
Kyle Lowry.
It's going to take a lot more than Kyle Lowry to get Bradley Beal.
Interesting.
What?
Sorry. Bradley Beal is the only person in the NBA with a explicit no trade clause.
Yeah.
Huh.
It makes no sense at all. No trade clauses are really common in the NHL, but I have never really heard the term be used in the NBA. So, and you would think that would be for players like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Stephen
Yeah.
Curry. Not so much for Bradley Beal, but
I
it
don't
is
think
what it
Dame
is.
would need one because it's
It's Dame,
yeah.
and yeah, that's we all know Angelo's opinion on that. There really isn't a lot of news right now, given the fact that the season just ended and we're in that like slowdown period. Most news related to the NBA is related to the draft or terrible things that MMA fighters do in the bathrooms of finals games.
I'm really mad the suspension hasn't dropped yet.
That's so I got an email from Adam Silver today thanking me for League Pass. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
he just every time I see like Bleacher Report go off on my phone, like I was in a meeting today and Bleacher Report popped off and all I saw was Adam Silver. I couldn't look at my phone and I only caught a glimpse at my watch and I thought it finally happened. Um it's weird that as we're getting closer and closer to the suspension, I think it's going to be longer than I initially anticipated because it's like, why are we dragging this along? Because clearly it's either going to be 8 games again, not enough, or it's going to be like
Yeah.
over half the season. And I'm starting to
It's
like,
going to be an extreme in either direction.
right. And I'm starting to feel like 51 plus is a solid number.
I could see
Disagree?
that.
Agree? Okay.
No, I could see that. Yeah.
So, like I said, there's really no news. Everything is draft related. Teams trying out different players, teams considering moving up. And there's way too many trade rumors to discuss right now because everyone's trying to either trade up or trade down. And I think if you were to look at like Brandon Miller, who's going either 2 or 3, the amount of teams that are allegedly trying to trade up into that 2 or 3 spot is probably half the NBA. And I'm going to be honest, I can't be bothered to go over each and every one of them, but it's everyone. This is every offseason.
Yeah, we'll
So,
have a whole episode, I'm sure, dedicated to
yeah.
draft stuff once
Yeah,
we get closer.
as we get closer, yeah. I'm just quickly going like literally I started like stockpiling news earlier in the day and then I realized that like I'm on page 7 and it's all Conor McGregor. So like there's nothing going on today. So we'll just get into the actual meat and potatoes of the episode. Let's finish up our thoughts on this season. Austin, particularly the finals, it went how you expected it to go. You predicted 5,
Yep.
it went 5. Were there any surprises for you? Because Angelo and I already covered our thoughts in the bonus episode, so I just kind of want to touch base with you on how you felt about this finals performance. Did you enjoy it?
Before he goes, one surprise I didn't bring up on the bonus is Tyler Hero not playing a single game in the NBA Finals.
So I
Didn't
thought
he
about
suit
that.
up for 5? Did he
He
not
did
go
suit
in?
up. He did not go in.
Okay.
And Spoelstra has already commented that he's going to be thinking about that for a long time. But in his
Mm-hmm.
defense, Tyler Hero has not played basketball in 2 months. And
Yeah,
to go
it's not
against a
like you were
physical,
getting
yeah,
the same Tyler Hero.
and to go against a physical team like the Denver Nuggets, like it wouldn't, he wouldn't have moved the needle, in my opinion. And apparently in Eric Spoelstra's opinion, and Eric Spoelstra is currently easily argued as the best coach in the NBA because he just took the 8 seed Miami Heat to the NBA Finals. So I'm going to trust the man.
Spoelstra gets no love.
He really doesn't. I think it's because early in his career, everyone just thought, oh, he's just winning because LeBron and D Wade. And sure, there is an argument to be made there. But at the same time, like we saw the value of coaching this playoffs run. Boston was a much better team than the Miami Heat. Joe Mazzulla was a much worse coach than Eric Spoelstra. It's just not even close.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to go too much into Spoelstra, but the fact that he hasn't won Coach of the Year is kind of disrespectful.
Oh, we've already established that the awards are borderline useless.
They're
Yeah.
narratives. They're narrative driven. But
Oh,
I think you could argue, and I would not argue against if you said Eric Spoelstra was the best coach in the NBA right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he does really get no appreciation because he, like I said, the LeBron era. But he really is a fantastic coach, and I think we
Yeah.
really did get to see that on display. So no, Austin, what was? Did you have any surprises, or did this go exactly how you imagined it would go? Did you expect more from the Heat in terms of fight?
Um, I think overall, I did call it in 5. That's why it went how I planned it to. The one person that upset me was Jimmy Butler.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't call him Himmy anymore.
2 for 13 to
Um,
start the game.
yeah, see, I still thought the Nuggets were gonna win, but I expected Jimmy to show up. And every game it was like, is he coming? Is he coming? And he never really showed up in the way that playoff Jimmy should have. So that was my big letdown. Big surprise, which we kind of talked about last episode, I believe it was the X factor of Aaron Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
He gets like an honorable Finals MVP to me.
Absolutely. It. Yeah, I completely agree.
So he played a. I think he punched above his belt, honestly. But
To
in the
each his
same
own.
sense, he was wasted in Orlando. So this might be the Aaron Gordon that we're going to see in the future. So that's what I
So
got.
looking back on this season in retrospect, what, in your opinion, were the biggest highlight and the biggest low light? I think for me, the biggest low light is the Ja Morant situation. I just, to have a player immediately go from being one of the faces of the future of the NBA and a well liked, well respected player to overnight being vilified and hated. Um,
Hmm.
and just we're wasting the early career of a player who very well could be one of the top 3 players in the NBA within the next few seasons. Uh, Time before that. So there actually is another news story that I forgot about that's related to this because it's related to one of Ja's draft mates, Zion Williamson.
Hmm.
Have you guys seen the Mariah Mills thing?
Yes. Oh my god. Yes.
So, Austin, have you seen it?
Here and there.
Okay, so for
All I
those of
know
you,
is there's like potentially a side chick or side girl.
that's the thing is him and Mariah were not like actually like really a thing. Like he was like Venmoing her 25 grand a night. Like,
Yeah.
Because he just had a kid, did he not?
no, he
He's
did
about
with
to.
the side girl.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wasn't he about to marry her?
I don't know. Like, this story is one of the hardest things to follow. She's banned on Twitter now because she was just getting like she was basically on the verge of doxing Zion. It was getting rough. Like, I don't use Twitter really, but
Oh,
I
they're
was
expecting a baby.
yeah, I,
Yeah.
I was just like scrolling through it and like it was honestly, it's just easier to describe as a tome of madness. Like this woman is not handling this well at all. And the weird thing is from the tweets that she was making, it's not that he was sleeping with another woman that bothered her. It's that he got her pregnant before her. It's really confusing and convoluted and strange. I can't believe I forgot it during our opening news segment, but I did. And yeah, if you
Honestly, it just
haven't
sounds
followed it,
like she kind of wanted the
it it's Jerry
child
Springer.
support.
It is Jerry
Yeah.
Springer. It is amazing. If you have not followed it, go look it up, read it while you're listening. It's a trip. Like it is
That's
a
honestly
Also,
like
rest in
unbelievable
peace,
rabbit
Jerry.
hole. Rest in
yeah,
peace.
he died. That's also another thing that I think that the NBA and honestly all leagues in general could do better is talk about the traps and the downsides of being a, you know, nationalized athlete. You know, decisions that you're going to have to make, managing your money, potential pitfalls like I'm not It sounds a lot like Mariah just wanted the kid for the financial benefit.
See, and it wouldn't surprise me if teams have that program set up because, you know, it is a business at the end of the day. Players are investments for those teams.
But
Right.
It would not surprise me in the least to have them,
here's the
teach them about that.
here's
But
the thing. Here's the thing. If the Pelicans do, the Snapchats that Mariah posted of Zion would lead me to believe Zion didn't get that message. So I'm more inclined to believe that maybe we don't educate, potential athletes better about certain pitfalls or certain like expectations that come with being a televised athlete and the money that comes with that.
I agree with
see,
Austin here. I would be shocked if they aren't. There has got
So there,
players.
I think there's a rep thing that comes into play here.
Yes.
Like Demetrius, he, we all know his background, right? It is
Yes.
like the whitest of white collar.
yes.
He has a rep that he feels like he needs to uphold as an NBA player, which
Mhm.
is why he does these things that he shouldn't and that he knows is against what obviously he's been taught or told, but he does it to make himself look better.
Right. And you have to remember that the NBA is an entertainment business, right? Like that was our whole discussion about load management. The players are not the customers. The players are the product being sold. There is a brand image to maintain. We call it decorum. I would be absolutely shocked if there was not a huge portion of time spent during the off season almost coaching players and how to respond to media, because if you watch these kids when they're in high
Not
school,
media.
college, it's life in general. It's how to carry yourself in public because you are a representative of the NBA. You are representing us as a company.
But
Because if
here's
you watch these kids when they're in college and high school, they don't have the kind of poise they have in an interview. They're being coached to be this way.
but here's the thing. If that was true and it's as sufficient as you guys believe, why are situations like Zion and why is the situation like the Miles Bridges thing coming
So
up? Are they
so
not?
what I
Are just particular players not taking the message?
so let me ask you a question. Okay? Without going into details, because don't fucking dox yourself.
Right.
Um, have you ever been at work and you know for a fact that you went through training and your coworker went through training, but they just don't get it? They
Yes.
keep doing stupid stuff anyway.
Yes.
Miles Bridges is just an idiot. Ja Morant is just an idiot. Those programs are probably there because, again, we can see the growth and poise of these players from when they're in college to now. The
True.
fact that they don't get it doesn't mean there's a lack of those services available. It just means they don't care.
I'm not necessarily saying there's a lack of the services, more that the service itself maybe is lacking in some way.
But there's 500 and something NBA players in the league.
Mhm.
You have one or two of these a year, and it's a pretty good turnover rate.
That's fair.
So I just think it's because they're so high profile. And if Zion could stay healthy and play basketball, maybe he wouldn't be getting himself into these situations to begin with.
And the same effect of being high profile amplifies any action
Absolutely.
because it's going to be put under a microscope, not microphone, microscope.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, that was a tangent. Sorry.
No.
Back to highlights, lowlights of the season. So the Ja Morant was my biggest low light of the season. Do you guys have anything that you think either tops that or is similar?
Um, this one's hits a little more closer to home. Kyrie and Luca.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
I thought that was going to be a match made in heaven, and wow, I was wrong. That was not what I was hoping as a Mavs fan.
I mean, I kind of expected it because while the offensive firepower is there, there's just no one that can stop the other team from scoring. And that's the
Yeah.
problem is you had two very ball dominant players Like, yeah, Kyrie is an
I got
elite
one.
catch and shoot player, but you had two ball dominant players. Nobody that even pretends to play defense. That team needs a lot of work. What was yours?
I got one going on. It actually goes off that is the absolute. There's going to be a documentary about this. The absolute implosion of the Brooklyn Nets in the middle of that season.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I could totally see a documentary coming about that one.
Yeah, that's one of like the. That's gonna be one of the biggest what if stories. Like, what if Kyrie wasn't crazy? Uh,
Uh, I mean, yeah, there was a point where when they had James Harden, that was like name a better big three in the NBA at the time. There wasn't.
no, at least on paper.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But again, I don't think that like that composition didn't work because again, people think if you just throw these talented players together, everything's going to click and work and be great. But when you have players that rely on having the ball to be efficient, because again, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant are all elite spot up shooters. There's no denying that, but they're at their best with the ball in their hand in isolation. We all know that. What benefit do they give each other? The only thing I can think is maybe it forces the other team to not commit doubles as much.
Right.
But even then, it's not going to be that efficient because you don't have players that complement each other. When
I
you look
don't
at the
know.
great big threes of the past decade, because big threes really haven't been a thing since the last decade, like Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Klay and Draymond play fine off the ball. Steph's ball dominant, but those two are amazing off the ball. LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh, again, LeBron is ball dominant, but the other two are really good off the ball. So when you have players that need the ball in their hand to really be effective, not just be effective, because any superstar or even star player is going to be effective in any situation, but to elevate the game because you're committing all this money to these three players, the rest of your team is not going to be that great. They have to complement each other, and those three just they don't complement each other. But no, the
I could see
implosion
that.
is hilarious. Like
Yeah,
in
that was a
hindsight,
good one.
a man gets sick in 2019, we have COVID, and the Brooklyn Nets fall apart. Like that's that was the butterfly effect because it felt like so we knew there were problems, but maybe this is just because it happened months ago and I've already forgot about it. But it really does feel like it was overnight. Like everything was fine with the Nets, and then suddenly they like everyone was gone. It just happened.
Yeah. Kyrie went through the COVID stuff. James Harden got hurt, and then KD
And then
almost.
Kyrie went through the racism stuff, and
Yeah. But no, but KD almost had Milwaukee down to Game 7, who would eventually win the championship. And that shot where his toe was on the frickin' line, that shot goes in, Brooklyn advances. And that was without Kyrie and a hobbled James Harden.
um,
So,
flipping the script. Let's go to your favorite moments of this season, or like the
oh,
most
there's so
exciting moments.
many.
So for me, again, it's probably a recency bias. The buzzer beater, Derek White, like that. I just watched it again a couple days ago. I still think that is probably the best buzzer beater I've ever seen with my own eyes. Like, there's been some great ones that I've seen, like in replays or on ESPN, whatever, but that I watched happen is that. What do you got?
That's good. Angelo, if you have one, go ahead. I'm still mulling.
The Lakers taking out Memphis and Demetrius. The whole
That's
aftermath of
that's a
that.
moral. That's a moral victory.
The whole aftermath of that. Miami making it to the NBA Finals. Speaking of which, Austin,
Yes.
since the finals are over, could we please get stats on prediction accuracy and all that, Mr. Numbers Man?
Yeah, I'll work on those numbers.
Okay, as we talk about.
I'll have them released before the end of the episode.
Okay, sounds good.
Um, no, my favorite part of the Grizzlies getting eliminated was Dylan Brooks' walk of shame after the game, and I think Ja did it too.
Yeah, it was great.
Like that's just a team like that build. Like you just like to see them when they're down.
It was great.
Um,
Let's see what else.
other highlights, because this was a really
The
just
whole
close
situation
game.
with the Hawks and Trey Young, and then
Oh
getting
god,
eliminated in the first round.
that
That was
was
great. That
stupid
was
drama.
great. Great.
So the Mavs, it's actually one of the trade rumors I saw related to. I said I wasn't going to get involved in like trade rumors right now. Mavs are apparently in on trading the 10th overall for John Collins. Again,
More offense.
you can have the number one offense for sure, but like who is defending? Other players that potentially are on the move are one of the four guards from Boston to try to free up space, because right now a third of Boston's salary cap is tied up in their backcourt. Between Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon, uh, Peyton Pritchard, and
Who do
Who's
you
their
want to see stay and go?
I
Derek White is the last person you're
Derek
thinking of.
White. So that's the thing is I like all of those players.
Here's an interesting thing I saw while I was while the playoffs were happening. I never brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe it was Gilbert Arenas has this is gonna be good. You already know.
Agent 00.
Yep. He has a podcast. He has something that he talks about. And he talked about Miami and Boston and the
Mhm.
result after Game 7. And he said something to the effect that Tatum and Brown were amazing, but Marcus Smart is a bottom percent starter at his position. Al Horford is a bottom percent starter at his position. Derek White, even though he hit the buzzers beater, was a bottom percentage starter at his position. So of course Miami won, implying that Miami actually had the better roster the whole time. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think if you only care about offensive production, which Gilbert Arenas does, it's easy to say Marcus Smart is in the bottom percentile of his position, but I think he's better than that. I think he's
Not well, yeah, of starters, yes,
of starters as a point guard. I would
yes.
say this is really hard to do on the fly, but I would hazard a guess that he's probably top 15
He said
just
like
because.
29,
No,
like that
absolutely
low.
not. Absolutely not. Just based on his defensive abilities, I have him higher than that. Um,
Austin, any thoughts?
he's doing math. Derek
Yeah,
White.
to be honest, I'm focusing on the math.
Oh, that's fair.
Derek White. I would be comfortable putting him in the bottom 5 probably. Al Horford is tough. I still think he's probably top 20, but again, I'm just trying to think of players worse or
Mm-hmm.
better, and that's really hard to do on the fly. But
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't think they're the absolute worst at their positions, and I don't think they're close. Besides Derek White, I think of starters, he's probably near the bottom. I wouldn't say he's the worst. Um,
Ren.
yeah,
Miami versus Knicks. Did you have Knicks?
yeah, I pick Knicks.
And Lakers versus Golden State. You had Warriors, right?
I had Warriors, but I will say I did say that that was the greatest potential for an upset.
You had Warriors. Moving on.
I'm just I'm just making
See,
sure people are aware. I did say that that was the biggest potential of the upset for the entire playoffs. Just clarifying, it is
no, you
on.
said that. No, false. You said that was Memphis, LA. So not only did you say it, you said it twice, and now you're trying to act like it.
Yeah, because my entire basis, because I said it every time, it's if AD is healthy, the Lakers will win, but I do not think AD will be healthy. He surprised me. But my logic was sound. If AD is healthy, the Lakers are a good team. If AD is not healthy, then LeBron has to try to grab or drag his shambling corpse across the finish line. That's not happening. AD was healthy in both series, so
Right now,
you
you're
can
sounding
say
like
whatever you want.
a robot. My
I
logic is
said it.
undeniable.
I said it both times. If AD is healthy, AD is one of the top players in the NBA. Yes or no? Angelo?
You predicted Golden State. That's what I know.
Angelo, did
Todd,
you
can
have
you
Suns
confirm?
over Clippers round one?
I did. Yes,
Did you have Milwaukee or Miami over Milwaukee
I did not.
round one? Okay.
No one did.
I debated it. I probably debated it longer than anyone, but I still didn't do it.
So do you guys have any more like favorite moments or least favorite moments of the season? Any big disappointments or things you really just enjoyed?
The Cavs. Honestly,
Yeah,
it was low key
very.
disappointing them getting eliminated by the Knicks in the first round, especially with Donovan Mitchell's like extended playoff experience with the Jazz. I thought he would be able to
I
get them
I'm
out.
just
Go ahead.
I'm fine with how that ended. Obviously, I did predict them to go to the finals, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I also am aware that they are a very young team. They'll be fine. I didn't expect them to be as good as they are as quick as they were, but
Oh, I did.
I didn't.
Angelo,
Yes,
They're still
did you have Boston over 76ers round two?
I did
Okay.
because you guys kept asking me if I was going to change it.
um so yeah, I think the young teams, the Kings, the Cavs, yeah, honestly, the Thunder were all very enjoyable to watch this year. Even the Magic, um, and are kind of exciting for the future of the league. Looking forward to the 2023-2024 season, we are going to do some way too early predictions. We will revisit these in June of next year. So I will make notes myself and I will save them. So let's go ahead and predict the 2023-2024 season, starting with your Eastern Conference champions.
Milwaukee.
Angelo takes Milwaukee. Any reasoning?
Um, I think I alluded to this in the bonus episode, but I think the East is kind of this weird rock paper scissors where like Miami beats Milwaukee, Milwaukee beats Boston, but Boston should usually beat Miami. And I think after the way Milwaukee got eliminated, their coach obviously got fired. They're going to get a new coach. I think Milwaukee comes back swinging,
Yeah.
and I think with the way Boston lost to Miami, I feel that much better about Milwaukee, assuming they have someone who can make an adjustment.
For me, it's between Boston and Milwaukee, and I agree with you. I'm going to lean into Milwaukee here, mostly because I'm less sure about the stability within the locker room that is Miami or Milwaukee. I think Giannis is a natural leader. I think he really does control the locker room, and it feels like they're a tighter knit group than Boston. And I'm also not sure how Boston is going to respond. I don't think the Bucks are going to go out and blow it up or make major changes because they don't really need to. Yeah, they'll probably make one or two changes, but it's not going to be anything major. It's going to be run it back, make the adjustments when they're needed. We know this team can do it. We know Giannis can do it. So I've got the Bucks because I'm just not sure about what Boston is going to do. Austin, can you make a prediction real quick while you're doing that?
Yeah. Um, I, my gut wanted to say Boston, but thinking it over, I don't know. There's a possibility that Jaylen Brown isn't there. So I think I'm gonna have to hop on the Milwaukee train on this one.
I'm actually surprised there's no like
Switch.
Cleveland makes a nice leap. The 76ers figure something out.
We'll
Oh,
talk
not even
about.
Yeah, Ren, you didn't go for the underdog.
yeah.
You always do
Well,
that.
you always do that.
I mean, technically, this is the underdog.
Milwaukee?
Did they or did they not lose in the first round?
Okay.
This is an underdog story to me. So I'm not going to say the 76ers because I'm absolutely sure 76ers are not going to run it back. Cavs, yes, I picked the Cavs this year, but I don't think they're a championship contender next season. I think they will be very, 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 very soon. But
So you thought they were this season, but you don't think they could be next season?
homie, I made a meme pick and we're still running with it. So mission accomplished. I literally predicted the Cavs Kings as the NBA Finals.
We did.
We're still talking about it.
We did.
Western Conference. Angelo, you went first last time, so go first this time.
Western Conference is a lot harder for me.
It's really not.
It really is. Man.
Okay, so let me
Go
just
for
go
it.
ahead and hop in
Go
here. So
for
I'm
it.
going to say the Denver Nuggets.
I
Uh,
know you would.
Denver Nuggets just won the NBA Finals with one of the most dominating performances we've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
in a playoff run.
Yeah.
They're young, they're talented, they're fine. They're back in the Western Conference Finals next season, and they win it.
I'll
Are you
still
struggling? Are you still struggling? Are you
I'm still
debating?
struggling, yeah.
You're still struggling.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Now I'm kind of struggling.
See?
Oh God.
It's not as easy as you think, right?
'Cause I'm also trying to think of some teams that were on the verge that may be able to make a run.
Phoenix Suns,
No, they're done.
Memphis Grizzlies if Ja doesn't get suspended the entire season.
They're done.
Dallas
Warriors
Mavericks.
are gonna regress or blow it up. Lakers are gonna regress or
Yeah,
Mavs is a pipe dream.
that's the thing
yeah.
is this is easy. This is easy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna
The
go Denver.
only
Yeah,
team,
it's Denver.
meme aside, the only team that I think is going to get better next season would be the Kings. But yeah, it's Denver. There's no one even on the field with them right now. That could change. We have free agency to get through. We have a ton of
Yeah.
trades that are going to happen. We have a draft. But as of right now, it's Denver, and that leads to who do you have winning? And it's weird that we're doing this before we do the awards, but bear with me. I didn't think this through, and we're doing it on the fly. So who do you have between between Denver Nuggets and whoever or Bucks? We all picked Nuggets and we all picked Bucks.
Yeah.
So Nuggets versus Bucks, who you got finals champs?
I'm gonna go with Joker.
Yep, that 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 is the yep. We both pick the Nuggets.
Milwaukee in 6.
Milwaukee in 6.
Giannis
So are we
MVP.
are we gonna talk about it?
Like finals MVP. Go ahead, sorry.
So again, Nuggets are the best team in the NBA this season. They're young, they're talented, they have the best player in the world. It's not that hard. Talk me through Milwaukee beating Jokic.
I think they have a potential answer for Jokic and Giannis. I think that would generally be the matchup. Would you not agree?
Absolutely.
I think it would have to be.
I think Milwaukee's core it's so hard. I think Milwaukee's core has generally been together longer because you have Drew, you have Giannis, and you have Middleton, who's been through that stretch and like winning the finals. And now the Denver Nuggets have also done such a thing. But I just think that Milwaukee has answers to what Denver likes to do. Jamal Murray goes off, they have Drew Holiday. Jokic goes off, they have Giannis. I think the X factors,
So what do you
surprisingly,
do? What do
the
you
X
do when
factor for
Aaron Gordon
Denver
goes
would
off?
have to be Aaron Gordon.
What do you do when Aaron Gordon goes off? What do you do when
Will he?
Michael Porter goes off? What do you do?
Will he?
Who?
Will he? I don't know.
But that whatever.
What do you do when Bruce Bowen goes off? I don't know. That's a good question.
Nothing because that's what 10 points. Um, so who do you guys have for MVP next season? I guess I'll go first.
Go
So
first.
I made this prediction last season. This is Luka's year. This is the Donch. This is look. I don't know if you've all been watching his like off-season workouts. He's looking lean. He's looking slim. He's looking fast. He's looking athletic.
Mm-hmm.
We already know the skills there. Now the physicals are going to be there. Just write it in the book. This is Luka Doncic's first MVP of many to come.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Are you,
And
are you
it's
agreeing with me?
probably Luca, but I think I'm gonna go Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum. That was my second
Ooh, I
pick.
like that one.
So
It
Tatum.
probably I've used this a lot. Narrative. I think the narrative is gonna lean towards Luca, but
I
I
can see that.
think I think Tatum is funny enough a safer pick because
Yeah.
I have more confidence in the Celtics being a high seed than I do in the Mavericks. And
So that we will get to that in a second because there's a reason I'm picking Luca here. Austin, what about you?
I don't know. I like both of those players.
Unfortunately, you can only
I'm
pick
gonna
one.
go with Giannis.
I like both of those players. Pick someone unrelated.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
I do like Giannis. But talk me through it. Why are you picking Giannis here?
Um, I mean, it's kind of the reason why I chose him for um the finals to get to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he is going to the way I see his career going because they won last year, right? Obviously not this last season, but the season before, right? Or was that the
Right.
Warriors
It was last season.
last season? I
And
think I don't know now.
I'm questioning myself. Who won last year, Angelo?
Last year was the year that
Warriors. It was the
yeah,
Warriors. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Was
Warriors
it Warriors?
Yeah, it
Celtics.
was
The Warriors,
Warriors
yeah,
last
because
season.
that's
And
the season you guys made fun of me, and I
yeah,
picked
'cause
the freaking
he picked
Celtics.
he picked
Yeah,
every round wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
we're about to
That,
find
that
out
was
that's the
great.
run award this year, but go
I
on.
I mean I know I didn't go 0 for 0 or 0 for.
Oh, you're definitely the worst, but
I
I am
definitely
100%
didn't
the
go
worst.
0 for whatever you think I did.
I actually
You
have
did.
those numbers done.
So
Oh well. Are you done talking
But
about
I'm gonna go
Giannis?
Giannis. I think he is just going to have. I want to call it a prove it year, but it's not a prove it year because it's Giannis.
yeah.
But I think he's going to feel like he has something to prove. He's
I
going to
think
pull
he
out all the
does.
stops.
I think he does have something to prove. Because like realistically, he wasn't even in that conversation towards the end of the season anymore for MVP. And like
Hmm.
he also blew an 8-1 series as the leader of that
Yeah,
team. So like I think Giannis probably has the most to prove of any player that was in the playoffs this season. Because that's just it's embarrassing.
yeah. I think he's
So
going to come out guns a blazing.
I could see it. So the first time we've disagreed, all of us. So I like that. We won't don't do
Yay.
the results yet. We'll get through this.
That's fine.
Okay. So which team, not player, which team do you think will make the biggest jump in the standings? I will go ahead and start.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the standings just so I can get.
So I'm going to go ahead and start, and this is going to make sense now. So my team that I think is going to have the biggest jump is going to go from a not playoff team to a possibly contender, but it'll be a high seed in the West. I think it's going to be the Dallas Mavericks. The
That's a
talent is
safe
there.
bet.
The talent is there. I think, like I said, Luka's gonna have an amazing season.
Because Luka had injury issues this year, didn't he?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kyrie barely had any time with the team.
Yeah.
This year, I think there's going to be a huge jump from the Mavericks, and I think that's a pretty safe bet. So I'm taking the Mavericks here.
Okay. Are we doing one for each conference, or are we just doing overall?
I'm just doing overall. If you want to do one for each conference, do it. But
Okay.
I want to do one.
I'm gonna
Riser
do one.
and Faller. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
well, I mean,
I'll do my riser then.
I've got Riser and Faller as topic, so do whatever you want. But that was already the plan.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
okay. So Faller's next. Okay. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna call who the Nuggets are going to face in the conference finals. The OKC Thunder.
That'll be your biggest wish. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
Yeah, that can be.
All that young talent developing. Josh Giddey
Yep.
is turning into a freaking star. Shea is obviously
Giddey, Shea is already there.
Chet will have a
Chet
season.
may be back.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
gonna be the X factor and whether or not.
Jalen Williams had a good year too,
Yeah.
didn't he?
They had just a really solid year for a team that wasn't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were in the playoffs. Well, play-in.
They're in the play-in.
They're in the play-in of the playoffs. Angelo, what about you? Who's your biggest riser?
I have my doubts on the potential of this player, but if he's as good as both of you think he is, then this team will be a huge riser, and they will be firmly in the playoffs, especially with my faller, the Orlando Magic.
Ooh.
I debated that. I like it.
Paolo Banchero is going to need to take the next step if they want to be a solid playoff team. They have a lot of young pieces. Maybe they figure it out.
I really like that pick because I do think Banchero takes the next step, and I think the East is going to get a little bit weaker.
I have my doubts, but it could happen. I'm not saying it's impossible.
It absolutely could. Now, do I think they're a contender? Absolutely not. But I could see them making a huge jump because I do think the East gets weaker.
Sorry.
Spurs are my dark horse because if Victor is as good as we think,
nope.
I mean, I know you're gonna say no, but so we'll go to the biggest fall. So who do you think is gonna drop the furthest? I'll go ahead and start again, and this is tough because
don't do the cop out.
there's a layup, and I'm not gonna say it, and I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, which is the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep, that's the layup.
That is not what I was thinking.
I'm not taking the Nets. For me, it's actually going to be the Lakers. And the reason being isn't...
You're going to vote against LeBron?
I know it. That's never bit me in the ass before. For me, it's just because age, father time. LeBron is missing more and more time on the floor. Anthony Davis is, again...
Here we go. If he's not healthy...
I'm just saying, it's in his... This late in his career, he's not suddenly going to figure it freaking out. Actually, no, know what? Never mind, because they don't have Russell Westbrook this season. Never mind. I scratched that. It is going to be the Golden State Warriors. Because they're going to lose a bunch of talent. Steph Curry is getting older. He's still going to be able to shoot, but he is losing a touch athletically. And they're kind of getting themselves into cap hell, and I don't see an easy way out of it. So I'm going to say the Warriors because I'm done betting against LeBron. I'm done.
We have broken him, boys.
No, it's just this freaking game. Go ahead, give me your biggest dropper.
I'm gonna go.
You go, Angelo.
I'm swinging for the. You know what? I could have taken the Nets, and that
don't take mine.
But I'm swinging for the damn fences. I'm saying it's the
don't
Boston
take mine.
Celtics.
Ooh,
oh, that's not mine.
What?
Jaylen
all
Brown
right,
is gonna go. Jaylen Brown is gonna go. Here's my
time,
prediction.
time. Hold on, time
So you
out.
just
You just picked Tatum to win MVP, but the
Yes.
yeah,
Celtics.
that's where I was
Okay,
going with that.
okay, continue. I want to hear this logic.
Oh no, it's not logic. It's just a gut feeling at
This
the
is
time,
what you
baby.
hope happens.
But I think there's gonna be turmoil in Boston. Brown is
Absolutely.
gonna get moved in the offseason, and they're gonna have this transition period.
Mm-hmm.
And Tatum is a great player, but let's say Gilbert Arenas is right. Maybe Smart, Horford, and White aren't as good as starters as people think they are. And they could fall. They could fall hard. I can
They
see it.
absolutely could, but
I'm,
you think they
I have
fall
so many
hard.
fallers.
You think they fall hard, but Tatum wins MVP.
Make it make
Tatum,
sense.
Make it make
Tatum,
sense, my guy.
they are contradictory. I'm not going to say they're not. But Tatum winning MVP is more contingent on Jaylen Brown staying there and the Boston Celtics being a perennial playoff
I
team.
mean, whatever. Go ahead,
It's
Austin.
divergent
Okay.
paths. They're divergent paths. Let's
So
go.
I'm gonna do one for East and one for West because I cannot decide.
Okay, go ahead.
Ren's gonna hate me, but
Uh-huh.
my Western Conference fall is gonna be the Kings.
Why? How does that make sense?
I think they're playing team maximum next year.
Are you serious?
Yep,
Wow.
Who is better than them in the West?
the Thunder,
The Thunder, the Nuggets,
the Lakers,
Suns. I'm not saying the Lakers are
the
better than the
Suns.
Kings. I have 3 teams that I'll confidently say are better than the Kings. Lakers, I'm
So
not
that
saying
puts them at 4, 5, 6.
the Lakers are
So they're
not
at
better.
7.
You're just adding teams.
The
Okay,
I
Mavs,
love it. I love this.
I don't think the
the
Mavs are. I
Pelicans.
don't think the Mavs
I
are
love
better.
this.
Pelicans are definitely not
I can
better
see
because
I was
Zion is
trying.
Excited.
probably going to Zion is going to
We were.
retire to become a porn star.
We don't. Oh my god. We don't know the results of the offseason yet, but I could see it. I could see Pelicans. I could
Whatever.
see Mavericks
Do
with enough.
the East. Do the East. Shut up. Do the East.
MVP's team. 76ers drop to
Oh,
the
76.
7th or 8th seed.
I could see
He
that.
swung for the fences in the East. Let's go.
I could see it. I could see it.
You were scared.
Although I
Austin was
will
so
say, I'm
scared.
gonna pull a
Austin
Ren
was
here.
shaking. When I was
I'm gonna
talking and hyping that up, Austin was shaking in his damn boots.
I
Oh,
was. I'm gonna pull a Ren here. The 76ers may not fall if Tyrese Maxey takes that next step.
Okay, that's fair though. Like you say that like it's a bad thing to say, but if Tyrese Maxey steps up and becomes a superstar next season, that's like
76 was fine, yeah.
yeah, the
Then I'd
76ers
want to
are
be
fine.
wrong. I'm okay being wrong.
Right, that's what
I
I'm
don't cover
saying.
my bases because I'm
I'm
afraid
not
to be wrong.
covering my bases. I'm just
You're
saying
covering
if
it.
this happens, no, I'm making a
You're-
choice. So what I'm doing is I'm like on these notes, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a parentheses, right? And then in that
Mhm.
parentheses, I'm going to be contingent upon Maxi. Because that's a fair point. Because if Maxi takes that next step, this prediction doesn't matter because that's my prediction is if Maxi takes the next step, this doesn't matter. But as it is right now, sure. So no, screw you. You're wrong. Let's do a fun one real quick. What do you think, and I'm typing this out now, the biggest controversy next season is going to be? Who is next year's Kyrie or Ja, and what are they going to do? I'm going to stay with it, and I'm going to say Ja's going to shoot himself in the foot or something.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You want to
Like,
calm down, dude? Save that for the bonus.
no.
Just going all in on the
No, he's gonna be dancing around on YouTube Live or Instagram Live or whatever
Oh
it is.
my God.
New NBA YoungBoy album's gonna drop, and he's gonna shoot himself in the like calf or something. That's gonna happen.
And then get suspended.
And then get
I have a
suspended.
swing for the fences one.
Okay,
Oh
go for it.
my God.
I don't think it's going to happen, but in some strange far off universe, I could see it happening. Dame is not with the Trailblazers at the end of next season.
That's your big
Ooh.
controversy.
Yeah.
I go with Josh shoots himself in the leg, and you go Dame gets traded.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? How is that not huge?
Thank you, Angelo.
It's huge. No,
St.
no.
Willard, and now he's saying there's going to be a time in Portland, and he's going to demand a trade, and that's not big. But Ja Morant shooting himself in the foot, but is
Absolutely. What's your biggest controversy?
I don't have anything that can top Josh. That was just sometimes you have to read the room and understand that you cannot be outdone, and you cannot be outdone on that one. So
Absolutely, I cannot.
I tip my hat to you, good sir. That there I got nothing.
Like the only thing like I can think is I don't know. I feel like Jaylen Brown is due for something stupid, and I don't know why I feel that. Like he's gonna say something stupid next season, and
I
it's
don't
just
think he will because he's not a stupid person.
uh,
Have you
what?
actually looked at Jaylen Brown's
Here's,
intelligence?
so yes, here's the thing about Jaylen Brown though. So Jaylen Brown is a guy that is very intelligent. He absolutely is, but he's also a guy that thinks he's very intelligent. That's not a good mix, okay? And
There
this
we
is as
go.
someone. This is no, that's what I was about to say. This is as someone that falls into that category. Um, so do you not remember a few months ago when he showed up to the game with the shoes, and on the shoes were a picture of the Aztecs ball game, and it's similar to basketball, but it wasn't like it's not identical at all. Like you shoot with your hip and you can't move, and it's like a 20-pound stone, and like if you lose, you get your heart cut out and all this stuff. And on the shoes, he had written, "Was it really Neesmith? Like, did Neesmith invent basketball, or did he just steal it from the natives?" And he spelled Neesmith wrong. So no, no, no. He's one of those guys that's very similar to Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving is also very, very intelligent.
That's
But
fair.
they're one of those people that they sit there and they think they're more intelligent than everyone. They think they see the world different than everyone, and they see the truth. They see beyond the veil. They see
That's how we get
reality.
wrapped.
No one else. And that's why they say, you know, when I look out at the horizon, it's not a curve, so the world's flat. That's Kyrie Irving. That's Jason or Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown is due to say something absolutely stupid. Kyrie Irving is not a racist. He's not anti Semitic, right? But because he wanted to appear smarter, he shared a freaking Nazi movie and said, "Oh, this makes you think." He didn't even watch the movie. He admitted he didn't watch the movie, but because it made him sound smart, he shared it. That's what I'm talking about when I say Jaylen Brown is due to do something stupid.
I don't know. Looking
It's
at your
not
prediction numbers, I don't really trust your predictions, so agree to disagree.
agree to disagree. I took risks.
Did you though?
So under
Haven't we
Angelo's,
gone over this?
I'm gonna write Pansy wouldn't make a prediction for next year. I'm typing it now. You probably can't hear it, but what else? What else should we predict? Which player do you think is going to make the biggest jump? Not most improved player, because I don't think like a superstar or a star player evolving necessarily counts. And I'm only saying this because I'm going to say Tyrese Halliburton.
Again?
I'm saying Tyrese Halliburton again. I
Again.
think Tyrese
Yeah.
Halliburton, yeah, not going to be most improved player. Again, I'm not saying most improved player. That's a whole different award. I'm saying I think Tyrese Halliburton takes the next step as a player.
So then here's my question then, since you think that Tyrese Halliburton is gonna improve upon, being an all-star player, why was your biggest riser not the Pacers?
Um, that's fair, but it's because I don't think the Pacers are going to make a huge jump. I think they'll
Like
be a
bottom
play-in
feed?
team. I think they'll be a play-in team or a fringe playoff team, but it's not going to be a huge jump. It's because they finished what 10th in the East. or 11th in the East. I think they'll be just outside of that. I think they'll rise 2 or 3 spots, but I said the Mavs go from a non-playoff team or a play-in team to like a 4 seed. So that's a big jump for me. So that's why I didn't say the Pacers, because I think the Pacers only jump 2 or 3 spots. But I think Tyrese Halliburton evolves as a player this season, becomes more of an on-court presence instead of just a distributor that can occasionally shoot threes. That's not just a homer pick. That's legitimately like I feel like this is the year he takes the next step.
Interesting.
What about you guys?
I'm gonna go with LaMelo.
Oh, that's a good pick as well. That's a really good pick.
That's a good pick.
Because if I'm not mistaken, he was injured for a lot of last
Yeah.
season.
Yep. Knee injuries.
Yeah.
And
I think he
a
takes
massive
next step. I think he's healthy, and I don't know.
Next
I like the Charlotte team under his leadership, or what it
You know-
can be under him.
You know, I'm gonna say a fringe pick, so I'm gonna say who I think is gonna get the most improved player as well. I'm gonna put that as a parentheses here. It's a player it shouldn't get it at all because I don't think a player of a caliber of this should get it. I think Ivy. I think he takes a huge jump next season.
Jaden Ivey.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. I think he evolves.
I think Ivy would be able to earn it.
Also, Jaren
Like would
Jackson.
qualify for it.
I think Jackson as the sole guy on the Grizzlies next season. I think
Hey,
he
don't
could
forget
also
about
get.
Desmond Bain.
Oh yeah, Lord and Savior Desmond Bain.
Yep.
Yep. It
But yeah,
is now.
Jaden Ivey, I think, is gonna take a next step as well.
Okay. Angelo.
Honestly, I might.
Since you guys are making, Rehn is making some homer picks, I'm gonna stick homer myself and say Evan Mobley.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I also would have accepted Garland.
I actually debated Garland for a hot second.
Yeah.
So Mobley is someone I actually could see being in that most improved player conversation. I don't think Tyrese is obviously there. I don't think LaMelo is there, but I think Mobley could very easily be in that most improved player.
Yeah.
I think Mobley averages 20 and 10 next season easily.
He could very well.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and give us the results from our totally
All right. How do you want
unimportant
this?
playoff predictions. Go best to
I
worst.
have it broken down by round, and then I have our
Just do
like
overall.
overall
Just
percentages.
do overall.
Okay.
If people
So
were following
first
along,
place.
they got the rounds.
That's true. First place, Angelo with an 80% correct call rate.
Mm-hmm.
There's only 2 things that he called wrong. It was 1 in the first round, and then no, sorry, 2 in the first round, and the NBA Finals.
He was
I'm
real
second.
wrong about the NBA Finals.
Yeah, he was. I'm second place with 66.7%,
Oh God.
and then Rehn is third place with 53%.
Hey, better than half.
I actually did.
You got half of them wrong every single time except the finals.
I about to say I actually expected it to be under 50.
No. Because
I totally did. It felt like you
You-
were missing.
The Denver pick is the only thing that saved him.
Yeah.
Going Denver every
I
time.
picked Denver every round, yeah.
Denver every round. Yeah.
Yeah. You're the only one that did them every single round.
Because nothing else mattered. That's all I'm saying. That's
Nothing else, man.
that's the message here. Pick whoever you want as long as you pick the winner every round. I'm sorry, I nothing else mattered. I only cared about the numbers.
So take your own advice.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to save this, and then we will look at it next June and see if Rehn got any better or worse.
I mean, let's be realistic. I can only go down from here.
Yeah, I mean, you went extremely low to extremely high, so
Yep.
let's see where you fall next year.
So for those of you that listened to the bonus episode, we told you that this week was going to be a fun episode where we defended each other's points and things that we disagreed with. That was the plan, and that will be coming soon. It's just we're really bad at some of us are really bad about giving the others their talking
Oh,
points.
it was totally me.
I wasn't going to
It
throw
was
you under the
definitely
bus,
me.
homie. I'm not
I
throwing
will.
you under the
You can
bus.
blame it on me.
So that's
If it was
coming.
me, he would
Um,
have said it like at the start of
Oh
that.
yeah.
and then just a heads up, coming up, Austin got approved for his house. That's our big uplift story. So he's
Woo.
going to be a little busy over the coming weeks. So there's going to be a few weeks where it's just going to be Angelo and I.
I know.
So
I'm sorry, guys.
some of the major episodes we're going to hold off on, or like we'll have a time gap on, because coming up we are going to be doing our top 10 players at each position for the season. We don't want that to be a week when one of us isn't here. So that will be something that we'll have a dead week or a variety episode, a random episode, or a mock draft, whatever,
Yep.
so that we all can be here for that and we can discuss and debate it. But
I do want to
expect.
say.
Go ahead.
I do want to say that viewers expect more of the draft episodes, like we did the one with the European.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be doing more of those, so I can be undefeated.
Yeah, no, those are really fun, and we did cover that in the bonus episode. Way to call yourself out for not watching the bonus episode or listening to the bonus episode, Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Disappointed,
We,
because
we,
we did talk
I
about that.
think we just talked about. I was busy, so I get a
No, but
pass.
you could have listened to it though, up the algorithm.
I get a pass.
Whatever.
Yes.
So we will be doing more of like those fun things that we started out. If you've been listening to us for a long time, you know how the episode structure was before the playoffs, where we talked about stuff besides just the playoffs. And we'll be getting back to more of that starting next week. It'll be fun. We're glad you're here with us. Follow us on social media. As Austin gets into his house, he's actually going to start doing that. Allegedly, we'll see. At No Reserves Radio on every social media platform except for TikTok.
Soon to be Twitch.
Soon to be Twitch. That I probably need to set that up.
You probably should.
I don't know when we're starting that, but I should set it up so people can follow it if they want.
I don't know,
The
but I don't have
schedule's gonna
internet,
be
so
like,
we'll be good.
what is our schedule? So, like, is there going to be like a day where hosted by Rehn, day hosted by Angelo, day
So
hosted
I
by
think
Austin?
so. My thought process is, and this is probably something for off the mic, but I'll talk about it here just so the listeners have an idea. So Angelo is the needy child of the group.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes into work earlier than all of us. So
Yep.
typically we can only do things on the nights that he doesn't work. So what I'm thinking is Thursday nights we record and then we stream.
Okay.
And then I believe your next day off is Monday. So Sunday would be an earlier stream. That's my plan. So we will do 2 streams a week. One will be probably me or Angelo. The other will be me or Angelo, I'm guessing. Like I have just a feeling we're going to be the two hosting it generally.
Yeah.
But it'll all be on the same Twitch channel. So like you won't have to follow different people. And it's going to be a variety of games, and sometimes it might not even be games. It might just be like hangout time, and you get to experience what started this whole podcast, which is us just sitting around doing nothing, talking trash to each other. We'll
Maybe some
see.
existential crises.
Maybe some existential crises. Those happen a lot lately.
Yeah. Maybe some Q&As on why Angelo is the way he is. You know.
You know what? We are not going down that rabbit hole because holy crap, we will be banned.
We would be banned.
But thank you for joining us on this little journey we're doing. It's a lot of fun. We love to have you guys here. Follow us, like us, subscribe, leave a review, do whatever you want. But we will see you every Sunday and occasionally other days if we do bonus episodes. But every Sunday for sure. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See ya.